Hello everyone, this is Showtime 112. We're back with the Malta aerial campaign. After the initial phase in 1940, which saw the British-held Mediterranean island attacked by the Italian Air Force, Regia Aeronautica, the Germans joined the offensive in January 1941. This month brought numerous challenges for the outnumbered defenders, but things took a turn for the worse in February. The Luftwaffe deployed a small unit to Sicily, 7th Staffel Jagdgeschwader 26, commanded by the experienced ace Joachim Müncheberg. The RAF's weary, outdated Hurricane Mark Is couldn't match the high-altitude performance of the Bf 109Es, which regularly attacked the defending fighters from above. The German unit achieved many victories without losing a single aircraft. For more details about the early phase of the campaign, check out our previous videos. You can find the links in the video description. Axis pressure continued through March. Both the Germans and Italians were determined to neutralize Malta, which posed a serious threat to their North African operations. Their forces depended heavily on supply routes from Italy, and these could be effectively interdicted from the British-held island. The defenders enjoyed a brief respite during the Axis invasions of Yugoslavia and Greece, but between 27 April and 20 May 1941, Luftwaffe fighters once again managed to shoot down a large number of Hurricanes, 14 in total, without suffering any losses. The 7th Staffel Jagdgeschwader 26 was reinforced by Bf 109s from 3rd Gruppe Jagdgeschwader 27, temporarily stationed in Sicily. As a farewell, Müncheberg's unit carried out a strafing attack on Takali airfield on the afternoon of 25th of May, destroying 4 Hurricanes on the ground, 2 of them by Müncheberg himself. During their deployment in Sicily, 7th Staffel Jagdgeschwader 26 claimed between 42 and 48 aerial victories depending on the source, with 19 or 20 credited to Müncheberg personally. Not a single Bf 109 from the unit was lost in combat. The German 10th Fliegerkorps struck Malta with great intensity, launching 1,465 bombing sorties between January and May 1941. The island's offensive and naval capabilities were seriously crippled, yet, despite the devastation, the British remained determined to continue the defense of Malta. Fortunately for the defenders, an easier period followed. With the German invasion of the USSR approaching, the Luftwaffe's 10th Fliegerkorps began withdrawing its units from Sicily in late April. Responsibility for attacking Malta once again fell entirely on Italy. The problem for the Axis was that the Regia Aeronautica was incapable of handling such a task alone. Their Sicilian command, the Comando Aeronautica della Sicilia, had only 63 operational aircraft, 14 bombers, and the rest fighters. During the first 5 months of 1941, the Italians were only able to assist the Luftwaffe by escorting bombers and reconnaissance aircraft, or occasionally launching fighter sweeps, but not much beyond that. As the campaigns in North Africa and the Balkans stabilized, however, the Italians managed to increase their strength in Sicily. By June 1941, they had 161 operational aircraft, including 45 bombers and 16 dive bombers. The fighter force consisted of 3 gruppi equipped with Macchi C.202s and 1 gruppo operating CR-42s and some Regiane Re 2000s. The bomber component included units flying Savoia Marchetti SM-79s, Fiat BR-20Ms, and a single squadrilla of U-87 Stukas. This represented a 25% reduction in numbers compared to June 1940 when the Malta campaign began, and a 33% reduction compared to the strength of the Luftwaffe's 10th Fliegerkorps in May 1941. Despite this, the Italian commander in Sicily, General Renato Mazzucco, received the same orders to neutralize British offensive potential, protect the Straits of Sicily, and the convoy routes between Italy and Africa. General Mazzucco could hardly expect any bomber reinforcements, as they were urgently needed in North Africa and on other fronts, while Italian manufacturers were unable to produce new aircraft and spare parts fast enough to meet wartime demands. British forces on Malta, on the other hand, were much stronger than in 1940. Hurricane reinforcements arrived on 4 occasions between late May and late June. The RAF could now count on 4 Hurricane squadrons, most of them flying the improved Mark II versions, although some older Mark Is remained in use. The new version, powered by the more capable Merlin 20 engine, producing 1,480 horsepower, had its top speed increased from 315 miles per hour to 340 miles per hour. The Hurricane 2B also carried heavier firepower with 12 .303 caliber machine guns. This made the British fighter more than a match for the Macchi C.200. Malta's offensive capability at this time consisted of Wellingtons, Blenheims, Beaufighters, and Swordfish torpedo bombers. These aircraft were used extensively against Axis shipping, as well as in nocturnal raids on Italian airfields and other targets. The island's anti-aircraft defenses were also strengthened, with a 60% increase in heavy gun firepower compared to June 1940. With Malta's defenses growing stronger, General Mazzucco realized that daylight bombing missions had become extremely risky. He also knew that his fighter units couldn't provide effective air cover for convoys to Africa. The C-200 had an effective combat radius of only about 100 miles and couldn't stay over the ships for long. The Regia Aeronautica's operations during this period focused mainly on 2 types of missions: nocturnal bombings of Malta's airfields and large-scale fighter operations, both coordinated with Axis convoy activities. This was a pragmatic strategy given their limited resources. Night bombing operations were primarily carried out by Fiat BR-20Ms, with some Kant Z-1007 bombers joining in by early September. Although some bomber units rotated in and out of Sicily, the number of operational bombers never exceeded 55. These raids were conducted from altitudes of around 16,000 feet by small groups of 2 to 4 aircraft. Their most common bomb loads were 15 and 50 kilogram types, with heavier bombs occasionally used. The bombers typically approached individually and simultaneously from different directions over Malta to disperse the island's defensive response. As for fighter operations, the Italians occasionally sent large formations of fighters over Malta in an effort to wear down British air power through attrition. Some of these missions were flown as escort for reconnaissance aircraft, but this practice largely ceased in late September with the arrival of camera-equipped C-200s and new Fiat CR-25 reconnaissance aircraft, eliminating the need to risk valuable medium bombers on such high-threat missions. C-200s were also occasionally used for strafing attacks. One example occurred on 11 July, when 11 C-200s covered by CR-42s at medium altitude attacked Malta's airfields. 12 Hurricanes engaged them, but no aircraft were lost on either side during the ensuing dogfight, despite multiple claims from both sides. On 1st of October 1941, the skies over Malta witnessed the debut of a new Italian fighter, the Macchi C.202. This aircraft represented a major improvement for the Regia Aeronautica, as it surpassed the Hurricane in several key aspects. For the first time, Italy had a truly modern and highly capable fighter in the theater. The period of German absence from the Malta campaign lasted until early December 1941. In the following videos, we will examine some of the typical missions flown during this phase and present statistical data related to the operations. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the video, and as always, keep watching Showtime 112.